Good afternoon, everyone. Sharice Jervis Hill here, president and founder of Events to Remember and PR to Remember, with our favorite podcast, Coffee with Cher, our entrepreneurs focused podcast. And today we're going to talk about the numbers with George Sotrillis. He is the managing partner at GNSKP. George, welcome to Coffee with Cher.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Of course, thank you for being here. So we always start with a little cheers, afternoon cheers. So cheers to you.
Cheers to everybody, actually.
Yes, cheers to everybody. Oh, I like that mug, George. That's fancy.
Thank you. Yeah, we just redid our logo and just redid the cards and we just got the new folders.
I
So,
like
and we're probably
it.
gonna redo the website a little bit just to put that up there.
Okay, I like it. I'll look for one of those mugs when I come in.
Sure. We'll save one for you.
All right, save one for me. Okay, so George, let's talk. So tell me a little bit about how you got started. Take us down the journey of GNSKP.
Well, I've been an accountant for, I guess, most of my life. I actually went to school for it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, why accounting? I just felt it was the basis to get into just about any type of business you wanted to get involved with because everything is based on accounting anyway. At the end of the day, you need to know the numbers, you need to know what's going on, you need to
Mm-hmm.
know about profitability.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people today don't realize that it's not just taxes, it's also numbers. You need to
Mm-hmm.
know if you're making money or not. So school, I was working. My background. I don't know how elaborate you want me to get on this, but my background has been in the private and the public industry. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed both sides of it, and what led me to here is I just enjoy doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe plenty for punishment, but long hours and craziness. But I enjoy helping people, try
Yeah.
to resolve the tax issues. Help them find out where they're profitable, they're not, and just keeping a tab on what's going on with their business and their personal finances.
So how long have you been in business now, George?
Well, I've been in all the firms I worked for. My original firms, God, I'm going to age myself now. You guys are going to know how old I am, but it doesn't matter. I started out in the public accounting arena back in the early 80s.
Okay.
So from that point on, I was always the type of person that had a hard time working for somebody else. So
Mhm.
always did something of my own. That's what kind of triggered to do the taxes and the bookkeeping and everything else. During that time period, being in and out of public, I've also worked for a couple of other companies as an interim CFO or interim controller.
Hmm.
And sometime at the turn of the century, I would say I was invited by a firm in Long Island where they needed a specific type of work to be done, and that's when I really got more involved in helping them and also establishing the business.
Hmm.
GSKP has been around 2008.
Hmm.
Uh, our former company, Integrated Inc., has been around since the 90s. So
Oh,
it's been
wow.
I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, long time. Um, so George, tell me a little bit about what really sets you apart. What sets GNSKP apart from others that are in this space?
Well, the one thing is we're family owned, so it's really family that handles this, and I hate to use the old cliche, we treat our customers like family.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have spats with the brother, the sister, whatever, but at the end of the day, we try and make things work out for everybody. And you come in here, our environment is very friendly, very low
Yeah.
key,
Hmm.
very, not non-stressful. We try to work with you in the best way possible.
Yeah. And one of the things that I love is that you really take the time and tax season is busy but I feel that you really kind of take the time to kind of go through your numbers and make sure that you understand, and you kind of think through different ways to be successful, different things that you can do that'll kind of help the bottom line. So I think that that's also another aspect of kind of what
It
makes you
is.
different.
One other point on that is that it's like most people can sit down and do a tax return, but we
Mhm.
just don't do the tax return. We sit down, we look at it, we use as a basis to talk to you about future, about planning, about what do you want to do in 10 years from now.
Hmm.
Maybe if there's a little adjustment we could do, save you some taxes, we'll do it. I mean, I don't want to get, this is not actually, I guess, a podcast about the tax situation, what taxes really mean and everything else, but that's something I think we should entertain in a future event. But it's more like, okay, this is who you are, this is what you can do, this is what
Hmm.
we think you need to do, and let's plan out for your future. How old are you? Or maybe in 5 years you want to retire? Let's talk about that. So we're
Hmm.
not just crunching numbers and handing you a piece of paper saying, thank you, have a nice day. We're here for
Yeah.
you, we're here around. We're here to help you with all your problems, your issues, and planning for the future.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I mean, it really is helpful, especially too with the numbers and just trying to, navigate all of that. It's a lot. So it's good to have a partner that, really takes the time to kind of walk you through all of that. So is there anything new that's happening? Anything new or new and exciting for
Not at the moment with the
GNSKP?
with us. No,
Mhm.
we are expanding our services. We're also looking to branch out into. We've been doing a little bit into what they call home office help. Basically, that means you have people that can't take care, don't want to take care of the bills. We'll do everything internally here.
Hmm.
We'll ask to give us access to certain up to a certain point to their bank account information, to other stuff where we could pay their personal bills, their business bills directly from
Hmm.
here. So we're running it more than just a full service accounting. We're not just doing the numbers, as I said before. We're actually taking it to further steps to help people just alleviate the headache of having to deal with their billing, their
Hmm.
receivables in some cases. We're
Hmm.
doing some real estate management as well for some of our clients,
Hmm.
invoice directly from here, picking up, giving them reports on what's going on monthly with their property. We're helping them out in situations where sometimes they'll need help with renovations, or they might need to reach out to different new vendors. So
Hmm.
we're not just accounting or taxes, we are beyond that.
Hmm. That's great. That is great. So, this is my favorite question, and you've been doing this for a really long time, so I'm excited to hear what you're going to share with our listeners. So, this podcast is for entrepreneurs, really helping them along that journey. So, what advice would you share, George, to someone who is either new, just starting out, um, or it could be someone who is thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe it's someone who's been in business for a long time and hitting a rough patch. So, you've been in business for a long time. I'm sure all of those scenarios are applicable. Pick one and give us some advice that you would like to share.
I think kind of answering all of them in one question is don't give up. Basically, you have to grind through it. Sometimes you got to work harder.
Hmm.
It's not easy. It's not easy being, somebody who's in business for themselves. People think, and I've had this with family, where they turn around like, oh, you're working at home today. I need you to do this for me. And I'm like, I'm working at home, but you have to understand I have a responsibility. That means if I'm working at home, I literally have to cut out the whole environment around me and sort of surround it with a imaginary wall saying nobody exists to get my work done. I can't get
Yeah.
up and go at that moment. I might have a meeting. I might have to be in the middle of something. It's hard. It's hard working for yourself. People do not realize that.
Yeah.
You eventually get to a plateau that you may be able to turn around and say, okay, I'm not working for the business is working for me, but that takes a lot of hard work.
Hmm.
And you have to be able to give up control. If you can't
Hmm.
do that, maybe you should be looking for a job.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good advice. Very good advice. So, anything else you want to share with us, George, before we end?
Mm, Not offhand, but I mean, yeah, if we're here, anybody needs to reach out to us, we'll do what we can. We don't take on all clients. We try to help as many as we can, but there are situations where we'll turn around and tell them we can't do this or we
Hmm.
won't do this.
Yeah.
Uh, and the two things that I think we pride ourselves on is integrity and we're ethical. And more than that, we work hard for our clients.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. And you do, sir. So, well, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing those nuggets with our listeners. And I'm sure you're gearing up because accounting season is right
Yeah,
around the corner.
we're already starting to be busy.
Yeah.
One of the very important things that I think we didn't mention is we do give back to. And I think
Mm,
that's important for people to do, whether they're in business or they work or whatever the case might be. You have to give back. At least try to. Not
hmm
everybody can.
hmm
Doesn't mean you have to give them back in ways of monetary. You can do it voluntarily or just
hmm
helping somebody out.
Yeah.
That's something important. I think that if we all do that, it's just a better world for all of us.
Amen. I agree. 100%. All right. Well,
And
thank
with
you.
that,
Thank you.
thank
That's
you.
a great way to end, giving back. And you've given back at this moment by sharing some nuggets with our listeners. So thank you for doing that.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
All righty.